we're going to be random as random, and yes, and your sound is very soft,
Oh, okay.
Oh
And as usual,
no,
I'm Chilean.
I'm Tristan.
and I'm swimming, and I do not know what the hell am I doing. So let's start with the news.
Yeah, we
And
have the
turns
Mm-hmm.
out
events.
that
We have the events actually.
let's go for events first. What's the
Yeah.
events?
So
Also,
tomorrow,
a lot of people now are doing online events, right?
yep.
Like I think
Yes.
last time, first one that was using StreamYard was the DevOps panel discussion, and I guess they're trying out a few things.
Yep.
So that will be good. Yep.
And
What's the next
DevKami is a
event?
proud.
Oh,
Uh,
sorry, DevKami is a
no, I.
proud.
Oh, it's a proud sponsor, not a sponsor, but co-organizer. Should we say that? Or I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, I would say we prototyped a lot of the things,
We
and
deployed it.
then
Yes.
because apparently it's working, so they have a proven way of doing things. Our workflow. So Chi Leong had been, I think, training people on how to use the workflow that we're using, and um, it's benefiting the community. So I'm happy to be part
Yep.
of contributions.
I'm just having fun. So let's say the first event I can see is actually the Here Hackathon. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow,
developer the Here because they hack for
tomorrow,
better day.
one
Oh,
of the
that's
closest
tomorrow.
one is, no, one of the closest one is tomorrow. We have Malcolm,
Oh,
which is
okay.
going to use StreamYard as well to do a live coding sessions with
Cool.
what's, let me look at the title.
Is that the one of his
Redux,
mentoring
yeah.
thing? Mm-hmm.
So Redux to React query. So you can check it
Redux
out.
to, sorry, what was the topic?
Redux to React query.
Redux to React query.
Yep.
Oh, okay,
So I'm
that's
gonna share it in
interesting.
the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So so the next one is uh, we have GCP Bole. That's the Google Cloud thing.
Yeah. Everybody
They're
talks
happening
about
from
it.
yep. Then that continue to Friday. Then we don't have anything until next week. We had a
No, we
KLJS
have something
meetup to
until
be
next week
confirmed.
actually. We have
Oh,
on
really?
Wednesday, supposedly to get everybody on the to update the calendar as well. Oh,
Okay, the calendar
my
is a bit.
is my sound is a bit low.
Yep, now it's
Yep.
better.
Okay, so um, on Wednesday we have Data Council doing live as well. So
So yeah,
on the same on I'm gonna share it out on the DevKami page afterwards. So
cool.
it's starting to have. I'm actually thinking whether to do Golang on Tuesday as well. I mean,
Yeah,
so let's see how it
I'm
goes.
se- I'm seriously consider to do something for Python, but it depends on my mood.
Yeah.
I might spend time killing some Athenians or Spartans. Oh
So
yeah,
yep,
it's from
I
Assassin's
think
Creed.
that's about it for events. If you're
Yeah.
interested or you're like we're trying to get KLJS to do it online as well. So if you're a community organizer and you're interested to learn about the workflow, just ping us or just
Yeah.
try to experiment with some of the tools and come over to the Engineers Mind channel to to ask for advice or to share.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's about it for events.
So how about news then? What we have on the news? I have one. Yesterday or was it the day before? Is actually the final release of Python 2.7.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
would be the last release of Python 2. And
What was added?
I don't know because I moved away from Python 2. Let me
Like,
double check
do
that.
they have do they have messages at the end of every Python program that says please upgrade to 3
Uh,
automatically added?
it's not that, but so a lot of it a bug fix, but it's a bug fix, but I can't find the release note.
Mm.
I lost the release note, but this is the last security release, and nothing will be it won't be extended. and I think it's
Oh, something
uh
about events.
Mm.
We
oh yeah,
have
which one?
at the same day next Thursday. We
Yep.
have Product Talk series. I
Oh
actually need to
Oh.
yeah.
update the calendar. Yeah, organized by Remote Code.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They're doing this online, right?
Yep.
Yep. On Zoom, I believe,
So
but
I guess for the
Mm.
rest of the year, have a we're gonna do online. I mean, this kind of meetup online.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So Python 2, not Python 2, bug fixes, security fixes, and all that. Python 2 is pretty interesting because for many, Python 2 is the Python version that built career.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
so in fact, if you look at the Python community, I'm one of those few that actually use Python 1 stuff from one something. In fact, the original Python Malaysia community members are the only one on 1x, even though it's pretty rare. So the data science guys started from 3, the new one was start from 3, but Python 2 are the one that built a lot of career.
Yeah.
Mm.
So which is actually very interesting for me. And also last year we prematurely made cake. I'm still proud of it, by the way. I wonder if I can still have a photo of the cake. Oh well,
Let me find it out. You know,
yes.
one
So
of the feature of Google Photos is that you can search a cake.
cake,
Yeah, and we
and it's
can.
not a lie.
It's not a lie.
Yeah, they can show you the cake, and it's not a lie. So any other interesting news around?
You talk about Ubuntu, right?
Huh?
Did
Oh,
you
I
talk about
didn't.
Ubuntu?
But is there Ubuntu release now?
Yeah, we sort of like
Well,
forgot about it. Normally, like it's one of the
it's
things to anticipate.
yeah.
It's
Is
Yeah,
a
it
April
already
stuff.
out? I
LTS as
think.
Yeah,
well.
yeah. The
Yeah.
it's
There's.
called Focal Forza, and it's
Yep.
the latest LTS version.
Yeah, but it's still
Uh,
pre-release, right? It's they don't have even have an RC yet. Do they have an RC?
no, I think it's
No, it's a
officially
A
released
release
release.
now.
candidate?
Actually, it's a release. It's on the official channel
Oh,
Yeah,
I
under
didn't
release.
know.
Yeah, I think
I was
because
yeah.
of
looking
all
for
this
the RC.
staying at home
Mm.
things. So,
Yes.
Mm.
yeah.
So one of the big thing is actually Linux kernel release 5.4.
Mm-hmm.
We support uh, new architecture, your commit list CPU, Qualcomm SoC. Not really interesting unless you're doing things like post market Linux for your mobile. AMD GPU,
You
awesome.
want to go through the list?
I'm reading it right now.
No, yeah. Do you want? I can do a share screen and
Yep, yep, that would be great.
let's share it out.
Wait, was
Yeah,
it only released 2 hours ago?
yeah.
Yeah. No, this morning actually. I think.
This morning? Yeah, okay. That's why. Okay.
Okay.
So let
Uh,
me zoom in out. I'm gonna share the link documentation as well.
yeah.
So it's the latest release.
Yep.
Ruby is very
Let's go all the
Nice.
way up. Uh,
yes, jump over.
so yep, I might get it soon. So kernel, you got XFAT support now, which is good because quite a lot of your file systems are XFAT. WireGuard is part of your thing.
Okay. I think Cloudflare is using WireGuard on their VPN, right?
Yeah, for the quarter one is actually a form of WireGuard, but their VPN service is on WireGuard.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, but they have been trying to push. They have been trying to push the cloud thing. I do not know how well it's being adopted because, interestingly, Ubuntu had been one of those things that people use for servers, but they don't use the cloud thing.
It's
Ooh,
one of
this
the
is
things that
interesting.
interests. Yeah,
A hardware authentication.
yeah.
Hardware, so you don't have to type a password, you just
So it's
plug
support. Yeah.
in.
So you can like use
Yep,
your
Mm.
UP or something.
yep,
Anything that support U2F, even
You
your
may
own
need
hardware or software.
to touch your authenticator to
Yep.
authorize
yes,
key
Yeah.
generation. Oh,
yes.
Yeah. This is
cool.
interesting.
But that is also if you have the server for that. Unfortunately, I don't have production server that support that, which
Yeah.
is hot.
So now with
But
this, the movies that where like Tom Cruise tries and find the key actually make more sense
yes,
now because
yes,
now you actually have like proper hardware SSH to actually enter in and hack
correct.
Oh, okay.
into a server.
Shipping 12.
So the shipping Postgres 12,
Yeah.
very interesting for me because I do have usage for JSON, but that's another story.
Mhm.
Very interesting for me, but for what reason I can't tell
You
you.
know, like in the I think 10 onwards, Postgres been focusing on parallel query processing.
Yeah,
So
Hmm.
some of the thing that if you design the query properly, we can get some significant performance boost from it.
So
yeah,
they're getting the so-called advantages of document stores, like their map reduce,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
doing it on relational
yeah. It's
databases.
awesome.
yeah.
Interesting.
So it's awesome.
So it's more. So what SQL now? Okay, this is a mainframe related stuff. So we like to talk about COBOL and all that. But IBM and Canonical have been collaborating on this for a while. So
Hmm.
if you got a Z system, very expensive, but surprisingly, it's not as big as you think. It's the size of your fridge, actually.
OpenStack.
So I don't use OpenStack, unfortunately. You get your image now, which is
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
So you can just deploy Docker images.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, these images directly onto like Docker containers
Yeah,
or like
better Raspberry Pi
cloud
support.
containers.
Yeah,
Usual.
yes.
Hmm.
Nvidia
Nvidia had been a problem,
sucks.
but I get it work. But if you know, but then it's not trivial, but it's not too bad actually. It's not too bad.
Mm.
Yeah, that's about
But
it.
that's just me. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
cool.
interesting stuff. So yeah,
So what
but a lot
the
of behind the scenes.
interesting stuff on the news?
I have this, so I put a link on private chat. This is
Yeah.
a computer that I am looking to get because my heavy duty machine is like 4 years old now. So it
Okay.
was 1070. I think I mentioned it one of the past few episodes. It was a 1070 an
Yeah.
i7 6700H. So it's like a
Ooh,
portable
okay.
desktop, but this is
Oh,
now
it's a
a
Ryzen.
laptop. Yeah, it's a laptop with a desktop CPU, and apparently AMD has um, got it like power efficient enough that they can actually. I mean, it's 3 centimeters.
So
I mean,
does it
my
run?
current laptop is also three
My
centimeters, but
concern is um how's the Linux support?
the
Yeah.
Linux support, I am probably that's why I was interested in the 20.04 is because of the kernel. So the Ryzen, I mean, the later kernel support the Ryzen CPUs.
Yeah.
Um, I've generally been starting using Pop! OS because they have all of these like good because they come from System 76, which also uses a lot of the Clevo chassis. So
Mm-hmm.
this is actually a
Ah.
Clevo chassis that then aftershock or level 51 in this case, just modify it and then do all of the parts so they can have like
Mm.
special keyboards, etc. But the hardware, most of the hardware is actually by Clevo, and so uh, System 76 does the drivers and does internal testing for their own parts. And
Ah. Okay.
they have this image that has like NVIDIA drivers built into the image. And so it's almost painless to install. So I have
Mm-hmm.
that on my heavy duty laptop right now, and
Right.
which is great. But I'm not sure yet. So apparently this one ships about the 20th of May.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try to see.
Yeah,
They have been having reviews of this one. You
yeah,
can put in a 3950X, which is like a 16 core 32 thread
yeah.
CPU. Although because it's supposed to be 105 watt, so you have to you have to limit its power to 65 watts because otherwise the laptop can't handle it. But apparently the
Right.
scaling for this is like you only lose about 20% of the maximum performance of a 16 core 32 thread CPU. But I'm probably not getting one of those. I'm probably getting like the 3900X. And this could probably last me for like another 4 years or so.
Yeah.
I
And
just
the thing
checked
here,
the
the thing here is because it's a desktop CPU, and AMD has promised to use the same form factor until 2021. So when they come
Right.
out with the 4000 series of desktop CPUs, you can actually change it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can upgrade your CPU, which is quite interesting for a laptop. Like to
one
be
of
able to
my
change the CPU is the
concern.
thing.
Often my concern is whether the Wi-Fi module is supported by the Linux
Yep.
operating system
Hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
or the kernel. I just check it out. If you're using the latest LTS, it will actually
Mm-hmm.
support it supposedly
Ah, cool.
out
Yeah.
of the box. Yeah, it still got some issues from last year, but I think that because the latest LTS actually uses the latest kernel,
Yep.
so
So
yeah.
the good thing about this, and that, and which is why I tend to buy like the last um thin profile PC that I bought, laptop I bought, was a Dell XPS,
Mm.
and I'm probably
Right.
not going to buy any of those things because um, they're very very difficult to maintain. So, for example, this particular laptop, you can change the Wi-Fi card. It's just your normal
Oh, that's
M.2
why.
Wi-Fi card, right? And so you can change it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have a lot of like Wi-Fi cards or from old laptops as well. You can just
Yep.
replace it if it's not supported until there's support, right? And then you can upgrade
Yep.
that one. So it's very very good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those underrated thing because
Mm-hmm.
modern day computer users have tendency to be to how I would say their tendency to treat computer as a consumer product you use to
Mm-hmm.
throw, and the manufacturer don't really have incentive because how else they gonna make money. Those modularity for laptop is rare, and I actually appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually awesome.
You have to pay
So yeah,
premium though. Like for example, my
yes,
T480, which has a lot of like replaceable parts, is a bit more
yep,
expensive than like a generic like let's say an HP or a Dell laptop, which has
yes,
mostly the same parts, but it's not as
yep,
upgradable. So I can
yes,
I've they have like I've replaced the uh, drive, for example, the SSD from an
uh-huh.
SSD card, and they have like this caddy that takes in a M.2 two lane PCIe
Yep,
SSD, NVMe SSD. So you can swap that around. You can swap the batteries, you can change the batteries, all of these things. So it's actually quite convenient, but this is more expensive than your run of the mill laptops.
yes, yes. Unfortunately, it's one of those. Well, that's the market. That's the market is
Yeah.
unfortunately, but it is what it is.
And it's not as thin as well, like not like
Yes,
your thin and sleek Mac, for example, right?
correct.
Um, you have, I guess, in pursuit of thinness, you have to solder in memory. So that means whatever you buy, you're stuck with the memory. You solder in
Yep,
your, or you don't have 2.5-inch SSD. So that means you don't get to have like spinning hard drives, which is like a
yep,
lot cheaper. And then you can just like open the back, for example, and then replace it when things go bad. They're soldered. So when
yes,
something fails, then you have to replace the whole machine.
yep,
Yeah, the Wi-Fi card is soldered, so you can't replace them. If your operating system does not support it, then you're out of luck. So all of these things, you do have to pay the price of um, upgradability and maintainability either through price, like itself,
yep,
like buying it more expensively, or the you have to sacrifice being thin and easily portable. In this case, because this is a desktop replacement literally for me,
yep.
so I was actually thinking whether to get like to assemble my own desktop or to get
Mm-hmm.
one of these, and I was looking into the prices, and it's almost the same actually. It's just that
Yeah,
with the desktop, you get to buy a better monitor because this is a
yes,
144 hertz screen. You can buy a better monitor with the same prices, with the same components that uh, with this. And I just decided, well, this has a free UPS built in. Might as well
mm-hmm.
just get that.
Yeah. But one of the side thing about this is, uh, modularity and all that is as if there's a conspiracy to stop people from actually changing their components.
Mhm. Well, for the well-known brands, yes, and which is why
Yes.
the small boutique PC manufacturers like this and Clevo, for example, they're not as
Yeah.
well known, although they're starting to be more well known. They
Yeah.
found their niche in like gaming
Hobbies.
and yeah, gaming and those that are require a lot of performance, like uh, casual freelance video editors, let's say, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah. Correct.
creators.
I
Because
found
if
out
you
that
if
Yes.
you are sorry, yeah, Chilo.
I found out that for video processing, the since Ryzen actually has so much more cores, chip cores
Hmm.
supposedly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's actually if I run, let's say, if I run software renderer which uses the CPU, it's actually still fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not probably not for
But
games,
option.
but for rendering and stuff, it's actually
Mm,
the CPU is enough.
yeah. Because it
Yep.
it can massively parallelize the whole
Yeah,
rendering thing, right?
yeah.
Which was
Yes.
supposed to be like the domain of GPUs because you access it in
Yeah.
parallel, but because you have like what 32 simultaneous threads running, then it's just and it's like a very fast operation general purpose, so
Yeah.
you can do it like that.
So
Yeah, so
yeah.
yeah,
Right.
I just wanted to show you the laptop I'm looking at right now. I'm probably getting
Mm-hmm.
one once reviews come out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there is currently only one, which is by Bauer, the
Mm-hmm.
overclocking nitrogen guy who like takes off the heat sinks on
Yeah.
CPUs and then like does like all of these extreme cooling. So
Yep.
he got sent a unit and then that's being reviewed. But there's not a lot of reviews right now. But let's see. Next week maybe there will be one.
So yeah. On the other hand, I discovered that the e-ink market is getting really interesting.
Mm.
Uh, I kind of lost the link, but color e-ink is available now. As in available not for hobbies, of course. But it's not exclusive to one manufacturer. Companies that make e-readers are now using e-ink. It's still not
Mm-hmm.
cheap. It's still in the device is still in $2,000 ish. So it will not be as cheap as a Kindle, but then Kindle are a little bit different simply because uh maybe find if I can find it in Lily Putin. Uh, it's interesting because it's available. People are making it right now. It's not cheap, but then your
I
tablet
think
is two
two
thousand
thousand
dollar.
as the final product, the end user product.
Yeah.
It's
Let,
I think it's a reasonable price because most of the e-ink readers, I mean the normal one, not the high end one, uh,
yep.
average around 1,000 to 1,500.
Correct.
So 2,000 is a interesting price point,
Yes. Two
and
thousand is actually.
the benefit is still up to. I mean, everybody has different experiences, but some people who are more sensitive,
Mhm.
the difference between a tablet and I mean a normal tablet like iPad with a e-ink reader is that a normal screen actually has refresh rates, so
Yeah.
e-ink doesn't. So that's why like for some people it's actually more comfort to the eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's less
But
tiring.
Yeah,
correct. So some of the e-ink reader, uh, so there's color now, and it's so as I say, it's getting really interesting. And some of the thing are actually refresh rate are reasonable enough to use. So, uh, so either way, I find out that the e-ink industry is really interesting now. But the thing is, it's limited to Android or other platform, which
I
is
know
not
some
what
I
everyone
know
wants.
some markets they use e-ink to display the price
Yep.
instead of
Ah, yeah, the just so that they you don't have to pay a lot of people to replace the tags when
yeah.
prices change, right?
But you still
So
have
they
to
Yep.
have
people to go around to update it.
well, yeah, you have to update it, but you don't have like to stick new things or like
Yeah,
change But then you basically, because I think it will be too expensive to do it wirelessly, and it's also not. You
Yeah.
still have to have someone to check if it actually worked or not, right? And so the inspection and the change happens at the same time. You just need like a device to like tap into it, and
Yeah.
then it changes
Yeah.
based on the information there. And
Provide power
Yeah.
that's
just
fast.
enough to turn it on.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it's going to be very very fast as well to change because you just like
I just
gun the
saw the
thing.
link. Yes, let me just share the link. I'm gonna post it to the
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah.
It's a product from Books. So Books is actually a very well known brand already.
Hmm.
They have several lines. Oh, the price point is actually interesting.
Yeah.
It's $190.
Still
So,
expensive.
but then you need to also you also need to remember that uh, your Kindle are not fairly priced. That it's a loss leading product.
Yeah. Hmm.
As a result, they also have the tendency to uh, people have been unfairly comparing Kindle with other e-ink reader. They're making a price that so my reader I get it for 500 ringgit. So if I get an Onyx books for example, it's around 100 plus. You still get like 600 minus the name that you don't actually know about. So something that you well know versus something that you never heard about, which you will choose, right? It's the same thing right here. But the difference is a really big difference is that your Kindle, for example, have tendency to actually have. So, for example, you have a Kindle by default, you set up and
It's
all that. Yes,
actually
you
a
can use
lock.
it.
It's actually something that lock you down.
Yeah, well, yeah, correct. That's one, and they also sell you ads to. They sell you ads to get you to buy books. They use their own format to make sure that you can only buy books from them. Uh,
Hmm.
and because it's easier to buy book from there, the thing is not all books are available. Some books are only available in the US. For example, I have this book. It's actually called it's one of the
Actually,
sequel
yeah.
series. It's not available on Kindle for me, but it's available
Actually,
as EPUB.
is Kindle available in Malaysia? Because I remember last time I wanted to buy
Oh yeah,
Kindle books. It's not, and
Officially,
I even in Google Play, I was not able to download Kindle, the reader, the app, if I'm in the Malaysian
uh,
App Store. So I don't know if
I
it's
remember.
still.
Kindle,
I remember a friend
Kindle.
having to set up a VPN hotspot
Yeah.
just to access the
Mm-hmm.
store.
Uh,
I'm not sure
if you're
about
on
right
your
now.
if you're on your phone, you can use Kindle app now. It's officially
Okay.
available.
Oh, even in the
I don't
Malaysia Play Store.
correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And books are the ebooks are available because you can actually read it on the app, so that available. And here's the most interesting thing about sort of these third-party e-ink readers because they run Android. Because they run Android, reasonably reasonably supported Android. You can have multi different ebook reader, which you can load your app and read your stuff, unlike the Kindle, right? So as I said, things are getting really interesting, and I really hope that some of these are more easily available. It is easily available. You just have to buy online. You have to pay the premium of transporting over.
Chiliang, do you have something? Because I wanted to um, mention something as well.
No, go on.
So another one that got released is XCOM Chimera Squad,
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
Camera Squad.
is different type of XCOM. So if you're into
yeah.
XCOM, this is like a different type
Uh,
of game.
it's also really cheap, but they also toned down a lot. So
I
this
think the
is more
price.
like
I think the price point is fair. This for
yeah,
20
yeah, yeah.
four ringgit.
Yeah, it's 80
Yeah.
ringgit. But yeah, you need to
No,
look at
it's
the content of
24.
uh
They have
20,
a
oh no,
launch
24
price.
USD.
No,
So
ringgit.
it's 24
Ringgit.
ringgit.
Yes, 24
Okay.
point 24.90 actually.
I
So
think that's
Well,
I think the reason.
so apparently on Steam for Malaysia only, it's 30 ringgit, 29.50. I just like
oh,
clicked
Yeah.
on the pre-order.
39. Okay, probably might be wrong.
So I might do that. I might get it. The thing is, I'm on Linux right now. I kind of like.
Mhm.
Do I want to spend my
Oh
holiday to install Windows on my computer?
no, it's on Steam, so most likely it will run Proton.
Not necessary. Not
Well,
necessary.
hmm,
Uh,
let's take.
Proton have been also interesting environment because I do survey for Proton for a long while. Okay. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
certain quite a lot of game doesn't get supported. They only have like 6,000 games supported. So, for example, a good example that I have Homeworld remastered. That
Mm-hmm.
one the support have been spotty. In early release is not supported at all. Then somebody figure out around the launcher that get it work. Then I think the latest update breaks it again. So that is one. Another one is Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, and Jurassic World Evolution. This game doesn't work because of the DRM, and it's on sale on Steam right now. So
Mm-hmm.
so the support are not as well as you think, but it's getting better. Some of the good game are getting better, even though you're not getting native. You get Proton support. They tried very hard. I hope that they still put in the same effort because I like options in the operating system. So, but for the new XCOM, I find it interesting because so the newer XCOM DLC alone is like 200 ringgit, or if you're
Mm-hmm.
on the PlayStation Store, 100 plus on Steam. Steam pricing is very interesting because you got local pricing, which
If you
I
get
thought is
all of them,
40
it's
ringgit.
still around 200 something.
Yeah, the content for that is very hard. There's a lot of content for that, right? The XCOM Chimera Squad is by content wise is toned down, but I also find it interesting because they experiment with the game dynamic.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
they come up with some sort of mini series to
Yep,
gauge the market support.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I can totally see this. This story is very similar to. Have you played the game SWAT before?
No.
SWAT is actually what we call a tactical breacher. It's not necessarily turn-based. In some early
Oh,
version, it's actually
is
real
it
time.
like a Syndicate? Or you haven't
I
played
do not know
Syndicate?
Syndicate.
Okay.
It's a bit similar to Commandos,
Ah, okay, the
right?
one with the sapper and the
But Commandos do
infantry.
no actually XCOM Commandos is similar to XCOM, but this
Mm-hmm.
one had some breach dynamic in a way that it's like the police. You know, in police you had to breach the door and all that. They
Mm-hmm.
try to introduce that dynamic with law enforcement like activity.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to call this XCOP, but XCOP is taken by other
It's
things.
more like for people that are not familiar, is that 1 and 2 are pretty covert. So
Yeah,
one
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
that when they are trying to stop the aliens from invading
Correct.
Earth. So and it was a covert project by
Yeah,
the World government. So the latest Chimera Squad is more like they became the police
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
in
to
this
crack
case,
down on yeah.
you're not the big organization.
And also,
XCOM 2 is
if you want to put
yes,
it, you're the bad guys.
yeah, in a way, yes. So, but so XCOM also have very good history. If you find out, the original XCOM is known to be hard. Then what happened is the original creator got out; they don't have money anymore. Very innovative. So what happened is, for some reason, 2K got the rights. Then they actually had a new team to do it. They had to bring the game to the 21st century. Uh, but it's still hard. So you got the whole history and whole tradition to follow.
Yeah. Have you
So
watched the documentary? It used to
yeah,
be like more like difficult with like angles and like depending on the angle you have a
yes,
different percentage and all of these things and then they decided they actually have to make it simpler.
I don't know.
And I think making it simpler clicked.
Even the latest the rebooted XCOM series is still pretty hard for me.
Yeah, it's still hard,
Imagine
but it's not
how much harder it is.
correct. You had a lot more calculation in the early days. I remember playing Commando. Commando, which is actually XCOM. They follow a lot of the early XCOM. You had to think about your weapon percentage, your damage percentage, angle, and the type of soldiers and all that is actually very brutal, and also it's covered in the way that I won't get help. You do not get help, and you have to plan around abilities. The next also abilities, but there are the older commandos that also had a lot more abilities, seduction and all that. So yeah, XCOM had a very cool tradition and they literally created the new genre, their own genre of the game. They had to simplify it, but they also it's a very good exercise in probability, because you will miss a 90% shot.
99%.
Yeah, you will miss a 99% shot,
and you get flanked.
Yes.
The next round.
So should why didn't they call this XCOM remake, just like Final Fantasy
it is
remake?
the change because it's. I mean, is implied. That's one. That's one is implied. It's a remake.
Just like I think the naming convention is the one of the weirder naming conventions. Just like Xbox. Then you call it Xbox One.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 360. Then the next one is one. Then the next one is X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
XCOM Declassified from Chris Lowe. I tried to love it. It's a game I tried to love. They have some very good idea for it. You know about things like, okay, I used to be an alien conspiracy believer when I was young. So I actually believe in paranormal activities, aliens, and all that. So if you watch the X-File, then you got the government in the 1950s.
But X-File is supposed to be, you're supposed to be the skepticals of werewolf.
Yeah. XCOM Declassified take that to the extreme. So there's a secret government agency that discovered alien, and you're the G-man that try to protect Earth with alien technology. It's pity that the XCOM Declassified is was it
a first-person shooter, right?
Third person.
The Bureau, I think that was the Bureau.
Right? The Bureau, yeah. Correct. The Bureau. It's pity that the story is not canon. They got some very good potential there.
Oh, was it not canon? I thought it was canon, right? No,
it's not canon. So it's their own thing. I think it's a BPT, so much potential. But either way, very interesting.
I think XCOM 3 was not canon. The one with the vehicles and all of these things.
Correct. It doesn't
almost an RPG. I think that one is not canon. But I thought that was a prequel, right? Bureau is like the story before XCOM.
They tried to do that, but it turns out that it just doesn't work, and they just the creator just abandoned it. As in the 2K, the new owner of the thing, the owner of the XCOM franchise kind of abandoned the Bureau and move on. Have anyone tried Phoenix? What's the name again?
Phoenix Point.
Phoenix
Point by the original creator of XCOM. I've only watched playthroughs. I think XCOM is more polished because XCOM went for the cinematic. Like the bullet cam. It actually follows the bullet through until the alien. So it's a bit more raw. It's closer to the original XCOM than the 2K XCOM.
Yeah, and also they try to bring some.
The point with Phoenix Point is that the excessive marketing.
Yeah.
It looked like vaporware or something too good to be true. I mean, some sort of if you do too much marketing, and it became really shady. And plus they have those pre-order tier, some like backer tier that is really shady. I mean, from my point of view, it turned me off because of that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a bit oversold, overhyped.
Yeah.
They hyped that, oh, this the monsters will evolve as you fight them, and so I was actually thinking if you tend to use a lot of explosives, then future monsters will grow like, I don't know, armor plating that is less
yeah.
effective against explosives. But no, it's all a linear progression, so it wasn't
Uh,
the dynamic mutation ability that I was expecting, or and many people were expecting as well. So that's
yeah.
not so sad, not so fun.
So at least they try, because one of the things that attract me is that uh, an enemy with different hit point.
Did any one of you played it, Phoenix Point?
No, no,
I've only
it's not
watched
on my
playthroughs.
Okay.
it's not on my supported platform, so I kind of like drop it. Like it's kind of fall off my radar because they keep having so many things coming, so many things here. So yeah, in fact nowadays I play things like Animal Crossing.
Yeah, what's up with Animal Crossing? Why is everyone so enamored
uh,
with Animal Crossing?
okay, Animal Crossing. Unfortunately, I had a lot of complaint. There's a lot to like, but there's a lot of complaint. Uh, so Animal Crossing is a game where you live on an island with cutesy animals. Uh, you have the ability to craft things and build your island into something that you can like.
You know what it's
So you
like
can,
to me? Yeah, you guys heard about the game called Don't Stuff?
yeah. No, this is a lot lighter in,
Yeah, it's a brighter version of Don't Stuff that is
yeah,
catered for non-gamers.
yeah. So the only thing is, my complaint is a lot of the things you craft are not functional. You can sit on the sofa and that's it. You can change your clothes in the cupboard. That's it. You don't have you can build a lot of stuff, but it's not functional. It just look nice. It just contribute to making your house nicer and all that.
Fun fact, I have 2 copies
Yes.
of them. And I didn't play it.
No, we do not we do not we do not do giveaway.
No, I don't
We do
do
not do
giveaway. It's
giveaway
bloody
here.
expensive.
It's expensive. Yes, I know.
Yeah. I
But
because
that's-
I ordered one,
Yeah.
then the dude failed to send me in time. So, but when I request for cancel, he sent me the package. So I actually paid for 2 of them.
Oh,
So
okay.
afterwards, probably after the MCO, I have to sell one off.
Yes. But the thing, my complaint about that is, it's a bit, the experience is a bit shallow compared to Stardew Valley, for example.
I see the appeal actually. I'm not the one playing it at home, but the non gamers are actually attracted to it because there's no goal. It's not
No.
as intensive as
Yeah.
other games. There's no winning condition. So I think
Yeah, there's no winning condition.
and most of the time you are doing like what you are doing is just cosmetics. So everybody
Yes,
being trying to be as cute as trying to just be cute.
Yeah, precisely. So
I
which
guess
I
that's the
say,
appeal to a lot more people, especially people
Yeah.
that don't play games often.
so but one of the things that I've been doing is that I try to collect all the fish and donate to the museum. Collect all the animals, because the museum is nice and I like animals. The latest update released in the afternoon, they have the museum. They updated the museum so that you can put artwork. And the artwork turns out that it's actually based on real world artwork. And they actually explain what the
Swimming is
artwork
actually
from all
pretty
that.
enthusiastic, even though he denies it.
Yeah. I curse a lot, but also very artsy, so deal with it. So more things to collect. So my final comment about Animal Crossing is a lot of busy work lah. It's a lot of busy work, which is a bit sucky.
It's supposed to be a no-brainer game. Like when you play,
Yeah.
if you don't know what to do.
Correct. But it turns out that to me it's just busy work like real life, which sucks. So I like it. I like to make my island nice and all that, but I don't spend too much time on it. And also, I find the game has some very evil pattern, because the game actually runs on real time. So if it's 8 a.m. in the game, it's 8 a.m. in real life. No, it's 8 a.m. in real life, it's 8 a.m. in the game. So you kind of like you had the pressure to actually catch up to do something, but you don't have to do something all the time. You have to do it some of the time. So by comparison, I prefer Stardew Valley. You can pick up and drop it.
That's like what? Like tiny towers? You just like what?
No,
Do
actually,
your farm or something?
it's a bit lighter than Tiny Towers, but
Mhm.
have Tiny Towers ruin microtransaction ruin Tiny Towers for me.
Mm. Or like
Right?
Fallout Shelter.
Yeah, Fallout Shelter, correct, but it's a bit more involved.
But you
Uh,
you cannot pay to accelerate it.
no, there's no way to
Everybody has to
accelerate.
wait.
You have to work your way out. Uh,
Or
you
you can't just change your system time?
no, no
You
point.
can you can do it.
Yeah, but
You can do.
Go to the
so
future?
the consequence of for Animal Crossing, the consequence of moving time and all that. So the latest update adding some feature as a result, they had to patch the save file. A lot of save file have been corrupted because they have been time traveling. That's why I heard lah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So because they mess around with time as a result, it's corrupted as hell. But I like also Animal Crossing. They have a concept called mouse point. It's very interesting. Every activity that you do in the game contribute to a point at different category. Now imagine this scenario, right? What you can do at the point is you can use it to buy things and get things and all that. Now imagine you had this kind of point in the real world. Every time you put a tin, recyclable tin in the right place, you get some point, and each of the point give you something. I don't know what. Maybe in the real world, because it's like 5 cents, you maybe get you very real world implementation means you're probably going to get some discount of real world thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine you have this kind of thing in real world, you can possibly keep the city very clean. But then I'm crazy. Also, that's my thought about Animal Crossing. I have my love-hate relationship with Animal Crossing. That's a short answer for it. I don't hate it, but I think it can be a bit evil. So, but that's just me. That's just me. So, anything else you want to go on? Because I think we ramble for so long. It's
Oh
ten
well,
fifty.
what's our on our comments? Um,
XCOM.
Say COVID
Declassified
or
Alien
COVID.
Hunter.
It's
Covert.
covert, Donaldson.
Speaking of that,
Covert.
we out in Malaysia. It's extended until the 18th, right?
Yeah, 12th of May.
Oh, sorry, 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
At this rate, we're going
So
to the
Are you
MCO
guys
going to be
planning to do Ruby online?
no, we don't
Clinic?
have any speakers. So and Clinic doesn't really work that well online
Okay. Yeah.
because you tend to move into separate groups, and so you can't really just share a single
Normally, what I try
broadcast.
to
So it
do
doesn't
it
work.
online is that I sort of receive comments from a lot of people that try to do training or receive
Mhm.
training online. Is that it's actually harder to focus when you're presenting a slide uh, on I mean online via the
Mhm.
online communication than in real world.
Mm.
So I think the
Harder to focus
so
for the presenter or the listener.
the listener and hard for the presenter because they don't receive the feedback.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And also a bit annoying. Notice that we almost always have to say that, can you listen to, can you hear me? Can I get some response? Are you okay? If no response, I'm going to assume that you're okay. Okay. And that is essentially my online meeting, knowledge sharing, training, and whatever
What
thing that
what
we do
what
online.
software are you using? Which platform?
We use Google Hangout, but it's the same on Zoom.
Hmm. No, but Hangout has the small. You can enable the small. What do you call this? Like people, so you can still see whoever's speaking, even if you're you can still see the other people while you're presenting, right?
Or we have tendency to hide ourselves because
Yeah, so that's the
usually my
thing.
hair is like, can you see
Yeah,
it?
that's the
My hair is
problem.
all over the place.
I have
Yeah.
You have to turn on your cam.
it's a silly habit, but I tend to be not in a bedroom attire when I'm cooking at home, even though I'm in the
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
bedroom. I make sure that I'm
Yes.
like dressed for the job. Not
Mm-hmm.
let's say
Uh,
dressed for the job. It's just that I'm not on my sleep. Like I'll get
Yeah.
my like usual. Like I have to get shower, everything, just
yes.
like
Mm-hmm.
how we do what we did when we also news is for people who use Hangout is that because the Zoom layout is so popular, the
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
tile layout. So the problem with Google Meet or people familiar with Hangout is actually, even though Hangout is actually end user product that is phased out, Meet is like Hangout, but there's I was gonna
Yeah, you
skip
don't
the
have this
amenity.
this
Yeah,
type of StreamYard thing, right,
yeah,
where everyone is present.
yeah. You cannot see
Yeah.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, you're just a tiny
So
speck on the one corner at your screen.
Mm-hmm.
correct.
So I will just share it on at the chat, and they just introduce some of the top four uh, requests.
Mm.
They
Mm.
share it on the
To
chat, like
enable this
uh,
again. Yeah.
to yeah, power, then the higher quality with low light and noise
Mm.
cancellations. What's
I
next?
wonder
Green
because
screen.
Google Google was supposed to like I remember there's a lot of this hype about Google doing extreme user testing and extreme A/B testing on things, and
Yes.
it had to take like huge usage of platforms to convince them that hey, tiled view is actually a thing, because they removed that from Hangouts and they pushed Meet, and they should have like had data saying that this type of format was preferred
For some
for.
reason, I'm going to say something really bad right here. Google is a bit like Sheldon Cooper, very smart, full of information, but do not know how to use it.
Yeah, but
Right?
they should have gotten the information or the data from actual users, right? Like
Having
people the
information.
people yeah, the people they must have somehow surveyed had
Uh,
preferred this.
I suspect it's a matter of organization. Yes, they use data, but the interpretation may be wrong,
I
or
think it's
different team are doing different thing,
I think
etc.,
they
etc.
sometimes it became a contradiction to them, like whether to trust their data because if you don't have that, if you don't do AP testing, you have to you don't have that kind of information,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or
Or
I
maybe
mean,
they just
or
don't want to
somebody will
take
prove
yeah, maybe they just don't want to take a feature away, because if they introduced it and then it doesn't work, they don't want to say, "Oh, we're just removing it." And then, "Oh no,
Yes.
are you also going to sunset Meet?" And then, "Are we going to go Google Duo now?" Because
Yeah.
Google has the oh, interesting one. I think it came up on the links that the person who made the website that lists down all the sunset Google products was hired by
yeah.
Google. Was that true? Like there
Yes.
was this website that lists
Yep.
down all the
Yeah.
products that
Thing
Google
like
bought and
Google
killed.
Wave,
Yeah. So it
Hangout,
has
Hangout
like
for
this list.
YouTube. It used to be on Hangout for YouTube, so it's actually a in a way created opportunity like StreamYard. That's
Hmm.
Yeah.
how we went to StreamYard.
Yeah. So the
So
guy
it's a
who listed all of these was hired by Google. So I wonder what will happen to the site. Like, did Google hire the guy so that he can turn turn off the web page and kill the web page? It's like an
Probably.
acqui-hire, and then okay.
We have no
It's
idea.
exactly
so
what they're doing, right? They
Yeah.
yeah.
acquire a company just so that
They
they can
acquire
kill it.
they acquire something they don't need, or they
Yeah.
develop or develop a competing product from themselves. I mean, against their own products. Then they can
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
just kill one or all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they can, and they have enough resource to do it. That's fine to actually do it.
I don't think they're gonna kill meat because they've been selling that to the G Suite
Yeah.
customers.
Yeah.
So they've been selling a
Yeah.
whole box solution of the like bundle with the sort of mini PC light box
Mm-hmm.
with a webcam and like a conference
Chromebook, yeah.
yeah, microphone. Yeah,
Really, they actually do that.
we
Interesting.
actually bought it in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
So it's
useful
How
or
many?
it just is pointless?
it's pretty pointless. Those are actually stuff that you can buy
Yeah.
outside, but they package
Yeah, that's
everything together.
that's what I've been thinking because it seems that okay, the demography of people using G Suite are people the demography that are relatively capable of buying something that is better than what's
No, not
given for
really.
free.
Actually, a lot of business
No.
users use it. And for
Yeah.
business side, I can understand that the convenience and somebody to do the support. I mean, somebody
Mm-hmm.
making
Okay.
sure that at least this webcam will work with this because they bundle it together. The,
Yeah.
the microphone will always work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Okay.
necessarily the best, but it will always work. They tested it, and if you have any issues, you can just contact
Yeah.
Google
It's
support.
a single
So
vendor solution,
yeah,
right? So
yep.
like all warranty, all support
Yeah,
is just
they
a
sell
single
it for a
person
premium
handle.
though, but and I can understand for the kind of sometimes it's just not just the product that we get, it's the support. Or
Mm-hmm.
for some big companies, just there's a name they can point their fingers to
Yeah.
when things happen.
I guess it's a similar decision I'm making with with that laptop because I can get a more powerful system with a desktop with the same price,
Mhm.
but then that means like it's sourced from different
Mm.
manufacturers. I
Just
have to
like
assemble it myself.
a lot of startups, they don't want to maintain their own infrastructure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Well,
choice
yeah,
actually.
maintaining a mail server with separate accounts. So like, good luck
Who
finding
do that
someone who still
nowadays?
remember.
People still do
Yes,
that, but
people still do that, but
ev-
who like good luck finding someone who actually can do it.
and
I
also
think
like
I
so.
doing mail, implementing a mail server or trying to maintain one is actually considered a punishment.
Yeah.
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 Probably
Well,
if you ask someone to install it, they'll probably say, "I need to find the Docker image of this thing," and so instead of like setting it up
yeah.
themselves. Oh, because it's difficult, like securing a mail server so that you can
Securing,
like yeah,
make
like
sure it
to
works.
transfer it, and then you don't accidentally become
Yes.
like a spam
Oh,
forwarder or
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Also,
yeah,
It's
yeah.
because
quite
email is
difficult.
so
Precisely.
old, the standard
Yep.
is so old, there's a lot of custom implementation that we have to support in
Yes.
order to make sure the mail delivers. So these
Not
are,
just that,
yeah,
the IP, the trustworthy
yeah,
IP thing, you have to warm up the
Mhm.
IP. So these are the things that if you haven't actually set things up, you think, oh, it's a technical job, but there's a lot of things happening afterwards. You can't immediately turn on and you can send mail because the receivers will just like kick
it's a
you out.
punishment.
That which IP
Yes.
is this coming from, right?
So
So
people that do not realize
DNSSEC and all of
this.
these things.
So people that do not do this thought it's easy. It's a serious case of Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah.
No, just
so
try it
people,
out. Actually, just try it out.
yeah,
Just try
yeah,
it out.
yeah.
Go and try it out.
Send
Everybody
me
Don't
can do
do
one.
it.
it. Um, you might have that. You might face some issues trying to do that with default port
Yep.
with like TM network because TM actually
Yeah.
blocks the port. So TM
Yeah.
actually
Which is
blocks
good.
several ports. Yeah,
Otherwise, you'll probably have
yeah.
um, like
Everybody spam.
zombie PCs with port 25 open,
Yeah.
sending spam
But
everywhere around
the
the world,
same
right?
the same policy also blocks IRC because IRC
Yeah.
is used as a command and control uh
Hmm.
used as a command and control protocol. Yes, people are moving over to metrics and all that, but
And
IRC is a
you can always run it on port 443, right? They would almost never
Yeah.
block 443.
yeah, 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 yeah. So it's something that you have to
Same
know
goes
lah.
with mail server. I think
Yeah.
it's a known. I think it's a known secret in the
Yep.
industry. If somebody blocks support, we just host it on 443.
Yeah.
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 My
Precisely.
VPNs, for
Because
example, are in
Yeah.
443. Make sure
Yeah.
it's always
oh really?
accessible.
Yeah. Actually,
Interesting. Oh
I maintain
okay,
the engineer's
yeah.
my VPN for my own usage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
So
want to know why. Just
no, it's
kidding.
actually just paranoid, like on public Wi-Fi, everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not actually more secure because you still go up somewhere. So,
Yeah.
No, but then you
but
don't have a middle of the man attack, right?
yeah,
If you're connecting to a
Uh
Starbucks Wi-Fi, and it
Yeah.
just says Starbucks, and then
Yeah.
you have
It's
access, then you
actually
know
just
you start
yeah.
there.
It's actually just to make sure that my communication is it's not just encrypted, it's actually secure. Nobody is
Yeah.
tampering with that. It's
Yeah.
just that not it's actually not so much about privacy because
Mm,
if there's a view, yeah, you can do it. I'm not gonna
yeah.
bring it up.
Yes. Let's not go there. Talk about
Yeah.
email. Have you guys tried Mailhawk before?
Nope.
Nope.
Mailhawk. Very interesting stuff. So one of the lost art of not having your own mail server is that how do you test your email sending, right? So the short answer is you just Gmail, except if you're not careful, you ends up being Gmail, putting your testing email ends up in your spam folder and all that. Mailhawk actually try to solve that in a way that it pretend to be a mail server, but it's not. But you can't send stuff out. It just intercept the message. Interesting stuff.
Mhm.
Random,
To that.
yet another random thing from swimming. So that being said, anything else before go on because it's 11, and unfortunately, we IT people still need to work from home.
Yeah, I have to do standby.
Mm.
Yes.
Are you in pager juicy?
Oh, sorry, it's Mailhawk.
Hawk.
HOG.
Oh, okay.
Mail hog.
It actually sort of oh, Male Hawk. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like swine, male
Yeah.
hog,
Hawk.
Yeah.
or male hog, as in social
Apparently, it's based on a
distancing
service called.
printers.
Apparently, based on a service called Mailcatcher or something. I never used that,
Mm.
but
Oh, mail catcher is something we use in the Ruby world to test like whether you can receive emails because it presents it like in a nice interface.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can test it in
Apparently,
development.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it does, and this one is written in Golang,
Mhm. It's probably
and it's
inspired
available.
by it.
Yeah, so very interesting stuff. So yeah, uh, now there's no real reason for you to run your own mail server unless you're bored. Like the kid that actually bought an IBM mainframe,
Or
he's supposed to get
your
a job now.
masochist.
Yeah.
Actually,
Hey, I run Linux.
anyway, just it's actually good to try it out for
Yeah.
learning purposes.
Yes.
And implementing one for production usage is actually so much more work.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So at least
If,
just try it out.
at least you appreciate like
Yeah.
all the things that are working, and if things don't work, you appreciate why it's not working because
Yeah.
you've tried it
Yes.
yourself, and a lot of
Yes.
things can go wrong.
Yeah. Do you have any
Okay,
questions? No.
so
So
I will
anything
see
else
each
on
other next week
Yeah.
on
Yes.
Thursday at
Until
10. Hopefully, we
Yes.
still.
still
Who's
alive.
also no StreamYard is still paid for by Faz, right? And then the
Yes.
week after that would be we'll see who sponsors
Yeah.
StreamYard.
Yes. Yep.
Mhm.
So that's it. Well, I think with no question, we should say goodbye then.
Bye.
Bye, folks.
Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.